you got to take what opportunities you have to celebrate in this world, don't you? So it's my 21st video. I'm an adult in the world of making videos. No, I'm not. Back when I started this channel, I did so with a very explicit reference to how old I am. I referred to being 33, which felt kind of necessary for some reason, to be yeah, I get it, I understand. You might think I'm old, or you might not think I'm old, you might think I'm young, but regardless, I felt like it needed to be said, because I do feel like there's something kind of dangerous in the idea of someone starting when they are above a certain age, really above teenager, early 20s or something, to start some kind of project online. Full disclosure, I was actually 34 already when that video was posted, but I just didn't. I let it sit. I let it sit on Final Cut Pro for several months, but then when I came to post it, I was oh, should I say 34 and ready for my teenage rebellion? But then I was no, because I referenced being 33 in the video. So 33 I was for that. Also though, I think it was interesting kind of posting at 34, because this year marks the 10-year anniversary of me starting to think about maybe making videos and potentially posting them. Back in 2014, literally 2014, I did actually go so far as to film and edit my first video, but then I never actually posted it and did not make a YouTube channel, even though I thought it would be fun and I was really curious about what it would be like to make videos. I thought it'd be super interesting, and I just I kept it in the back of my mind, but it always felt oh, it's not the right time. I think I might be bad at it. I might not have any ideas. I just won't. I'll just wait. Maybe someday I'll do it, but probably not. So through moving to the UK, or actually technically back to the UK, through doing my PhD, through the expiration of my student visa, and losing, in essence, all sense of grounding and rooting I had in my life, through moving to New York, through having a really complicated relationship with New York, through moving back to London, through all of that, I kept this idea that maybe one day I'd make videos, and I did. And when I posted because basically I wasn't happy and I couldn't see myself becoming happy with anything I was doing. I posted because I was a little bit bored with my life and wanted to shake things up with a creative project. I posted because ultimately I was afraid that if I didn't post, I might never do anything interesting with my life. And people might be oh, well, didn't you do something interesting with I don't know, moving to the UK and doing a PhD and moving to New York? Those are all things that people are theoretically interested in. And I'd say yeah, I mean, those were interesting, but they didn't feel necessarily like things that were really me. And I wanted to do something again. I think authenticity has become a big theme of these past several weeks, namely my own personal relationship to authenticity and my search for authenticity. And yeah, I think I wanted to do something that really did feel authentic. And I guess that's what I'm doing. I mean, what is more authentic than this interface, me here talking to this camera? What is more authentic than that? But also, I want to say that I am in some ways deeply disturbed and a little bit weirded out by the extent to which YouTube as a platform really does influence my process in doing all of this. It influences my topic selection. It influences how I market myself. I mean, I still try to maintain a level of integrity and authenticity in all of this. All of my ideas are my own. All of my words are my own. I speak the way I speak. I am the way I am. I look the way I look, though I do my makeup intentionally for every video. I try to maintain some integrity though in my ideas and to do things that are somewhat interesting to me, but I definitely also find myself thinking, okay, how can I pick something that I think people might watch? How can I pick something that I think might perform well in the algorithm? How can I do this in a way that it will hopefully build traction one day? I find myself thinking, why did I decide I was going to make a leaving New York video? Well, I mean, partially because I do find the topic of New York just endlessly fascinating. I think about it all the time still, even now that I'm in London. Also, I was I think this will get views. I think this will get people wanting to watch it. And I guess it kind of did. It is my second most popular video. However, I also want to come on to the idea that what works apparently is not necessarily what I want to make. And so, as it turns out, the most popular video on my channel, it is called I'm Embarrassed That I Did a PhD. You might have seen it because it's got like by far the most views of anything I have made. It is also one of the videos that I like the least out of all that I've made. And so I made that video basically because I needed an easy topic to just throw out there because I knew I was traveling the next week. And so I was like, okay, well, like I can talk about my PhD experience. I can talk about some of like the tensions I feel around like now having a PhD and feeling like, ooh, I'm maybe not like the type of person who like I think would stereotypically have a PhD, or maybe I am, I don't know. But like I certainly like don't associate myself with any kind of like academic label, and I kind of just like wanted to get into that. And so I just like I filmed it pretty quickly, I edited it pretty quickly, I posted it from like my trip to Toronto, and yeah, and then I was like shocked when like this one of all videos started to rise through the ranks of popular videos on my channel, and I just was like, wait, what? Like this is what people want to see? Like they want me like chatting in my childhood bedroom about how I feel kind of awkward about the fact that I did a PhD, and like I now feel like people like pigeonhole me as like, oh, she must be like an academic type, like she must be so serious and like driven, and like nope. And like also I think, you know, in a way it was like making that video and having it become the most popular video on my channel, it almost created the same problem in like the YouTube space that I have in like the rest of the world, where like I almost felt like, oh my God, am I now going to be like pigeonholed as like an academic content creator? Like, am I going to be someone who people just think of her and they're like, oh yeah, she's that like PhD girl? And it's like, that's the exact opposite of what I wanted. And in fact, like even in starting a YouTube channel, it was kind of like an act of rebellion against that like idea of like, oh yeah, I did a PhD. Like I was like this like serious academic person allegedly, even though I was not. And I'm just like, well, like, did I do myself like a disservice there and just like posting this video that I thought would like I literally thought no one would watch it. Like I thought that was going to be just one of like the most throwaway videos I ever made, and I was going to be like, okay, but it's there as public record, it's there as a story, it's there as a thing that I did, and people, if they ever want to know about it, if anyone ever happens upon this channel and they're like, okay, let's get the full view of who this person is, like it would be there for their consumption. But alas, no, it seems to be somewhat different from that. If you like that video, like I'm glad. Like if you found it useful or relatable, like I'm glad. But like I also just would say like that is like definitely going to be the last of its kind. Like I have nothing else to say about the academic experience. I'm not in academia now. I'm never going back to academia. I have no other thoughts about it. And I guess I just have to get used to the idea that people will always view whatever I say through the lens of their own experiences. And that is the nature of this kind of communication. Like I'm putting something out there that's like guided by my own experiences, and I might think a certain thing about it and have certain feelings about it. And then someone might come up here and be like, that reminds me of something else completely different, and take it in a completely different direction. And I'll be like, wait, what does that mean? Why are they thinking that? Like, did I like explain myself really badly? Am I a terrible communicator? Am I not good at the spoken word of language? Maybe not. And I have to accept that I might say something and someone might respond, and I won't be able to respond. I won't be able to set the record straight. I won't be able to say, well, actually, like I meant this and it's really this way. Like I will just have to deal with being maybe sometimes misunderstood, and that's fine. Ultimately, like I just want this to be a place where I can talk about a lot of different things, where I can talk about a lot of different topics in life. I want it to be a place where I can take my day-to-day life and, you know, contextualize it and put it in, you know, really montage heavy commentaries on my lifestyle, or tell a story, or, you know, potentially maybe increasingly dip my toe into the world of video essays, which like in the couple like sort of attempts I've made to maybe explore the medium of the video essay, I haven't really enjoyed it that much. But like I also feel like, oh, I should do it because like, oh, I did a PhD, and like shouldn't a PhD recipient be a video essayist if she's going to be any kind of YouTuber at all? And I'm just like, I don't know if I want to though. Like because like ultimately I just want this to be like a place where like I can explore, where I can free associate. I don't know exactly what the future holds. I might come out with like a ton of hard hitting, like really important to the socio-cultural conversation video essays, or I might just post a bunch of pure lifestyle frivolity, and that's actually like honestly what I enjoy the most, and it might be there might be more of that coming, but you know, we'll see. I mean, I want to like keep it open though and keep the space there to do whatever I want in the future, because maybe in creating this channel and coming back to the idea of age, I was really afraid entering my 30s that being in my 30s meant that I had reached the end of exploration in life, that I was going to be locked into a certain type of career, that I was going to be locked into a certain lifestyle, that I was going to be locked into certain relationships and ways of being and certain friendships that maybe weren't working for me. And I thought that that was just kind of how my life had to be. And in doing this, like, I'm proving to myself that like, yeah, experimentation is still very possible. I can, age 34, start doing something that I've never done before and that I have no knowledge of, and I can learn it, and I can try it, and I can see where it leads, and like sometimes I'm gonna have fun with it, and sometimes I'm gonna feel awkward about it, and that's fine. It's fine. But I think these 20 videos I've made over the past several months have really just proven to me how much fun I can still have and how much fun all of this can be. And so to anyone who's watching, just thank you so much for watching. Thank you for commenting. Thank you for subscribing if you are a subscriber. I just like really appreciate it. And I really appreciate any support I can get in this exploration venture that I am undertaking here. And I just hope that you stick around, and I hope that I can just keep having a good time with it.